This is second video in a series of study aids that will help you to memorize the vocabulary for the courses, Arabic 131 and 132, including our textbook vocab, which is in Alif Ba and Al-Kitab. So Unit 2, Vocabulary, Al-Mufradat, Lid-Dars, Athani, Bab. This is a door. Bab, Bab, Bab. So three or more doors, or for now, for the purposes of this course, plural doors. Abwab, 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 abwab. We covered this in the last video, but this is one of your vocab words for Unit 2 again. Ism, ism. That's a name, a name. Actually, I didn't add the plural here, but that'd be asma, asma, asma. Ism is a name. Names are asma, asma. You want to ask a question. We have an interrogative particle for the word what, and it's ma. There's actually two of them. One is for use with verbs in front of verbs, and one is for use of in front of non-verbs. This is for use in front of non-verbs. Ma, ma, ma. That means what, and we'll use this in front of ism as an example. Later, we'll say ma ismuka, ma ismuki. So what, and then is implied. Remember, we don't oftentimes in Arabic, we don't write is, it's implied. So we'll just say ma, and then we'll say the noun. Ma ismuka, ma ismuka. So what is name of yours? We'll get into that later. Ma means what? Ma means what? Ma, ma, ma. That means what? We talked about ahlan wa sahlan in the last video. Ahlan wa sahlan can be used, or just ahlan to say hello. Your book will say the reply to ahlan wa sahlan is either this slide here, ahlan bika, or the next slide, ahlan biki. Now, ahlan bika is a hello to a guy, to a male. Ahlan bika, ahlan bika, ahlan bika, ahlan bika, ahlan bika. This here that's in blue is the direct object for you. And then sometimes it could also be the possessive pronoun suffixes for your. If it belongs to a male and it's yours, right? Second person, singular, masculine, yours to a male, right? But in this case, it's being used as a direct object. It's being used as you, the word you, but as a direct object. We have a standalone subject pronoun meaning you, but not a direct object, the subject of a sentence, and we'll cover that later in this slide deck. But this is you as the object of a sentence, right? We have you as the subject of a sentence. That's different, and it's not a suffix. It's not an ending to a word. It's a standalone word. The subject is a different you than the object. This is the object that is you, right? Ahlan bika, and this be is a preposition meaning with or via, with or via. Ahlan bika, hello to you. You could say this on its own. You don't need to say it as a reply to ahlan wa sahlan or ahlan, but it's ahlan biki. Remember, this key is second person, singular, feminine. So you're talking to a woman, you're saying ki, right? You're saying it as the object of a sentence, not as the subject. That you're saying you as the object of a sentence, not the subject of a sentence. Ahlan biki, hello to you. Ahlan biki, ahlan biki, ahlan biki, ahlan biki. Hello to you, you're talking to a woman. You can say this on its own, not as a response to ahlan wa sahlan or ahlan. Now, this is a little more strict. When someone says to you, Assalamu alaikum, there is an expected response. And it's very similar to Assalamu alaikum. You just reorder the words in the phrase, and you add wa, which is our word and in front of the phrase, right? So if someone says to you, Assalamu alaikum, you reply with Wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam. Which is, and upon all of you is the peace. The peace. Uh, Remember, is implied here, so it's not written. And then remember, we use kum instead of ka. You don't say wa alayka or wa alayki. We're saying, and upon all of you, right? Kum is y'all or all of you. Uh, Kum, we're saying kum because you're addressing that person even though they're standing alone as a member of an extended family, a tribe, a community. So you're treating them like a group, even though it's just one person you're talking to. Wa alaykum assalam, and upon all of you the peace. The word the in Arabic is al, but you might be hearing me pronounce it as assalam, as if I'm skipping over the L sound there, right? And you can learn more about that in our sun and moon letters video that's in our Arabic alphabet playlist. But that'll explain to you why I'm saying as-salam instead of al-salam. All right. Now, there we talked about how you say you as a subject, right? This is not the you that I was going for or referring to. This is a more formal you that's rarely used, but these are vocab words in your textbook, so we're going to cover them. This is much lower frequency. You're not likely to see this very often, but let's say you're meeting a prince or a king or some high ranking official in an Arab country. You would address them as your presence or presence of yours instead of saying what we're going to get into later, which is just the typical you that's still respectful but not honorific as this is. This is hadratuka, 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 hadratuka. So this is presence of yours, or could be loosely translated as you in English. Hadratuka, hadratuka. That's you're talking to someone of importance. You're saying your presence, like your honor or something like that, right? What if you're talking to a princess or a queen? You're going to say hadratuki, right? Your feminine and is at the end of it as a suffix, right? Presence of yours, right? Your presence, your honor, right? Hadratuki, 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 hadratuki. And during the conversation or at the end of the conversation, you might hear someone say to you, Tasharafna, Tasharafna, Tasharafna. Tasharafna means you have honored us, or we have been honored, we have been honored, we have been honored. Now, we talked about direct object suffixes, and we talked about um, possessive pronoun suffixes. This is the same for both of those for us or our, right? So in this case, it's us. It's being used as a direct object. So we have been honored. We have been honored. And then, so that na at the end means we as a direct object. And then tasharafna is a verb, and we'll talk about the forms of verbs um, later. But this is a form five or a measure five verb. Tasharafna, we are honored. We have been honored. So this is what you would say, or someone else would say to you during the introductions, during the conversation. Um, and the response is also tasharafna, tasharafna, tasharafna. Here's the English transliteration. So this is the more typical high frequency, what you're going to see when someone is referring to you. They're going to say as the subject of a sentence, anta, anta, you, anta, you, anta. This is for a male, for a man or a boy. Anta. It's not disrespectful to use anta. It's very typical. What if it's a woman or a female? Anti, 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 anti. This is the subject of a sentence, not a direct object. Anti, 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 anti. Uh, what if you wanted to ask someone what their name was? Remember, we used the interrogative particle earlier, the word ma, right? Ma. So we're going to pretend like it's in front of this word here, ma, and then here this word ismuka, ma ismuka. What is implied? Name of yours, or what is your name? Ma ismuka, ma ismuka. Talking to a guy here. That's why it's in blue, right? Ka means you masculine. Ma ismuka. What is your name? What if you're talking to a woman? Ma ismuki. Ma ismuki. Ma ismuki. What is your name? But you're talking to a woman. Ma ismuki. Ma ismuki. If you want to ask the question where, you see where's Waldo there from the children's book series. Aina is where. Aina, 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 aina is where. Aina is where. Aina is where. Now here's where we're going to ask a question with aina in it. We're going to use our preposition min in front of it. How would you say, where are you from? Well, in Arabic, you're going to say, from where are you? That's how you're going to say it in Arabic. From where are you? Min aina anta. Min aina anta if you're talking to a guy, a male. Min aina anta if you're talking to a woman, you're going to say, min aina anti. Min aina anti. Min aina anti. Min aina anti. Min aina anta. Min aina anta. Min aina anti. Min aina anti. All right. The word yes, right? If you want to say yes, هل أنتِ من أمريكا? Are you from America? And the response would be yes. You'd say نعم, 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 نعم. You hear that strange letter. It's a non-English letter in the middle. That's an ayn. نعم, 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 نعم. You might hear نعم, نعم. That's yes. What if you want to say no? I'm not from America, right? Say you're from Britannia, right? La, la, la. La means no. La, la means no. La, أنا من بريطانيا. La, أنا من بريطانيا. La. The next video will cover our Unit 3 vocabulary.